Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Q4 and full year FY20 result conference call of Balaji Telecoms Limited. I hope all of you and your dear ones are doing good. I would like to thank the management for giving IDFC Securities the opportunity to host this call. The management team is represented by Mr. Nachiket Tantabya, Group CEO and CEO, Alt Digital Media Entertainment, Mr. Sanjay Dwivedi, Group CFO, and other senior management personnel. We'll start the call with the commentary from the management and then move into the Q&A. Thank you, everyone, and over to you, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for our Quarter 4 FY20 earnings call. At the outset, I want to, say that I hope you and your loved ones are all safe and sound. The current crisis is really unprecedented and enormous, and we are all aware and sensitive to the terrible impact that the pandemic is having on our lives and livelihoods. We also want to take this opportunity to express our gratitude to all the frontline workers who are risking their well-being and lives to keep us safe. Having said that, let me now start with the key highlights of the year FY20 as well as Quarter 4 FY20. Starting with an update on the TV production business, we continued to drive the ratings for the broadcasters we work with, and our production came to a halt at around the 18th of March. We lost about 13 days of production in that last quarter. We had a strong content lineup and a very good ratings during the quarter. Our daily shows bank only about a week's worth of episodes at any point with a maximum of 2 weeks. This is to ensure that we can gauge audience reactions to the storyline as it unfolds and make the necessary changes. At the time when the lockdown came into effect, we had daily shows Kumkum Bhagya, Kundali Bhagya, Kasauti Zindagi Ke, Ye Hai Chahate, Pavitra Bhagyam, and Nagin 4 on air, and only a couple of days worth of episodes banked. Broadcasters initially fell back on retelecasting old and other recent hits to keep the audience engaged and entertained. We were also able to premiere some of our digital shows from Alt Balaji on broadcast TV, which showcases the power of the content we produce. Overall, for the quarter, we produced 198 hours of content at an average realization of rupees 39 lakhs an hour. On a yearly basis, we had 823 hours, which is an improvement of 8% year on year, while maintaining realizations at the 37 lakh mark per hour. We have recently resumed operations following the necessary health and safety protocol, and we will need to get accustomed to the new normal, where our focus would be on quality production, while at the same time, we have to take care to follow all the safety precautions. Further, our existing shows, which were stopped, would need a rethink in the sense of recapturing viewers' imagination in newer storylines. Coming to our movie business, we had an exceptionally good performance this year, and our strategy of pre-sales has worked very well. We had a great hit in Dream Girl, and the other two movies, Judgmental Hai Kya and Jabariya Jodi, also did well for us. We have 4 movie projects in the work, namely Dolly Kitty Aur Wo Chamakte Sitare, Villain 2, K Tina and Pagler. Our movie business will continue to focus on pre-sales and co-production of its future slate, and our capital commitment to the movie business remains limited. We remain very selective in the projects we back and always focus on movie projects where we are comfortable with the risk reward. For example, we prefer to do co-production deals when the ticket size of the movies are large, and also look to pre-sell and lock in profits with upside sharing as early as possible in the movie cycle. All new projects follow a stringent green lighting process, and we continue to limit our exposure in the movie business. Given restrictions on theatrical releases, Dolly Kitty Aur Wo Chamakte Sitare will premiere on Netflix shortly, and we are exploring options for the other movies as well. Alt Balaji continues to establish itself as the preferred choice for mass Hindi content. With the surge of people connecting to their digital devices at the time of lockdown, we have benefited with a phenomenal rise in viewership. We've seen a surge in subscribers we are getting daily. From levels of about 10,000 subscribers per day, we are moving to about 50 to 60% more, and we have also seen increase in the watch times. One noticeable phenomenon is that these subscribers are coming from previously untapped markets, rural, Tier 2 and Tier 3 towns. Further, we are well positioned for these markets as we offer a very low price package of under 1 rupee a day, and we are showing local Hindi content to address these markets. Also, the other reason for making these newly added subscribers stay with us is that our content is linear series, that is, shows which are not episodic in nature. We don't show movies or things that can be watched in just one go at one time. We have shows which have seasons and episodes, and therefore we are confident that this will form a very strong habit for these new subscribers. We continue to be ranked in the top 5 grossing apps across iOS and Android. Our ranks have been between number 4 and number 3, despite having one of the lowest subscription prices in the country. We also have one of the largest library of original digital shows, thereby helping us lower our cost of consumer acquisition, as we have a number of hit shows we can use to run campaigns. Overall, all 3 business verticals have done very well. we remain flexible to be able to navigate the challenges from the COVID-19 impact on the media and entertainment business. I'll hand over now to Sanjay Dwivedi, our Group CFO, to give you a quick update on the financials. Over to you, Sanjay.
Thank you. I hope you all have seen the results presentation available on the website. Financially, we have had a very good quarter and overall good year. The key figures which I would like to highlight are as follows. On consolidated basis, revenue is up 34% to 574 crore versus 428 crore FY19. The revenue growth came from all three businesses. TV business saw increase in production hours. Movies had a higher revenues given we had some pre-sale revenue and a very good lineup during the year. All Balaji continues to grow at a much faster pace and revenues were at rupees 77 crores versus 41 crore for the year. On the EBITDA front, we have managed to turn around a loss of 105 crore from FY19 into a profit of 11 crore for FY20. The majority of this EBITDA growth came from the TV and movie business where we saw a near 4x growth on TV EBITDA. Movies had a very strong performance and contributed an EBITDA of rupees 37 crore for the year. Coming to our PAT, although a loss of rupees 59 crore, one need to adjust these certain items which I will highlight. PAT this year includes rupees 13 crore of match utilization, which is a non-cash charge. Otherwise, our effective tax rate remains at 25%. In addition to this, our treasury and non-operating income this year has reduced to rupees 8.6 crore from 31.8 crore. This is primarily on account of lower income from mutual fund as the average balance was lower in the year plus yields have been lower. Coming on to our balance sheet, we are a zero debt company with bank FD and mutual fund investment at rupees 163 crores and other short-term working capital in movies of rupees 76 crore. Total balance at rupees 239 crore, which gives us significant cushion in these volatile times. Our inventory levels have lowered to rupees 155.8 crores from 195.8 crore in FY19 and is primarily for our web series under development and movies awaiting release. This will readily convert to cash in due course. Our trade receivables stand at rupees 177 crore and are from some quality names in the industry which further helps strengthen our balance sheet. Overall, we had a significant year with H2 performing much better than H1 as anticipated. All our three business verticals have taken proactive steps to mitigate the impact of COVID-19, though we continue to remain cautious in our spends. I thank you all for joining us today and now would request the moderator to open the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and one on your touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and two. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and one. First question is from the line of Chintan Desai from Param Capital. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir, and congratulations for the good set of numbers. Sir, my question is pertaining to the OTT business. By year end, what would be our active subscriber base and direct subscriber base? That is one, and of course, ARPU as a result. And secondly, can you give us some flavor on how the Zee deal is working for us, and also its accounting per se?
So let me just give you a bit of color on what you've asked for. One is that at any given point in time, we are between 1.5 and 1.7 million active subs in that last financial year that we talked about as we ended the year. But on an overall basis, we've had about 38 to 39 crores of direct subscriber revenue. In the 77 crores for all, 38 to 39 is direct subscriber revenue, which translates roughly into about slightly more than 3 million subscribers at 130 rupee ARPU. So that is the number. Now what has happened is post-September we have gone into the Zee deal, because of which we have taken our products out of out of Airtel, Vodafone, Times Internet, other places where our shows are available free. The result of that is that we have seen an enhancement in direct subscriber acquisition on the base. Also, our costs have been mitigated on the content side to the extent that Zee pays 60% of our costs. So this has meant that in the first half of the year, alt losses stood at around 68 crore, and in the second half of the year, it has come to about half that number to around 37-38 crores. So the effect of the Zee deal is that we've halved our losses in the second half of the year, and they will continue to go down. And we have seen a spike in direct subscriptions. And just to give again a background, over the 3 years that we have been in operations, every year we have doubled our overall revenue as well as direct subscription revenue. So, we've gone from levels of something like 4.5 direct subscription to 15 crores to 38 crores in the 3 years in terms of direct subscription. And of course, our revenue numbers are, I think, 7 crores, 40 crores and 77 crores. So every year you are seeing a doubling of overall revenue and a doubling of direct subscription, and that encourages us to say that we are on the right path strategically to exploit this. We are not an OTT which is a bottomless hole where you have to keep investing. We are seeing decrease in losses year on year. What is also heartening for us is the fact that all the divisions this year are performing well and will continue performing well on a like-to-like basis. And they will help us sustain digital. We are cash positive, we have no debt, and the profits that we earn from our television and movies business will ensure that we'll continue to grow our digital business. That is all.
Got it, sir. Sir, and out of the balance, out of 78 crore, 40 crore would be direct. Balance would be a mix of revenue from telco and syndication.
See, the first half of the year, that is till September 1st, we were on telco partnerships, so that is there. Plus, there is some component of revenue of Zee that we account for in that. I think it is to the tune of 15 to 18 crores.
Okay.
27, you say.
Okay. Got it, sir. I'll come back in the queue, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question is from the line of Dhaval Joshi from Sundaram Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, sir, and thanks for the opportunity. So just one basic question, sir. If you look at your standalone, top line, so we have mentioned the reason of decline on Q&Q, the revenues largely because of the COVID. But can you give me some idea about, your inventory part? Because generally we have inventory of more than, 10 to 15 days maximum, I'm seeing. And lockdown and everything has started from the 18th of March or 24th of March basically. So why such a sharp drop in a QOQ revenue in standalone? That is one. And second, if you can give exact or something subscription data that could be really helpful for us. No. You gave us the number of direct number and everything, direct revenue and all. But the way we used to give earlier, like till Q2 or Q1, we have the data. If you can provide us, paying subscriber base.
30.
Sorry, sir?
3 million subscribers at 130 ARPU.
That is a Q4 run rate you were saying?
It's 3 million subscribers at 130 rupee ARPU. That totals to a 38 crore revenue number.
Okay, fine. And sir,
yeah, we'll go through the numbers. Sanjay, could you just help us out with that? Yeah.
So on a sequential basis, you want to know the revenue, correct?
Yeah.
So on a TV side, we had 125 crores for quarter 3, correct?
Right.
And we are currently in quarter 4 at 107 crores.
Okay.
The loss on revenue due to COVID is around 6 crores.
Okay, fine, got it.
And the drop what you are seeing is because the programming mix changes between weekend shows to weekday shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it, sir. Fine, sir. And okay, fine. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and one. Next question is from line of Rakesh Noria from Old Pan Advisors. Please go ahead.
Sir, what is the lifetime value of the subscriber and average customer acquisition cost for you?
We have not yet calculated the lifetime value of a subscriber, but you can just take, if you want to do the maths on it, there's a 33% churn on subscribers, and our ARPU levels are between 130 and 140. So, depends on what you call lifetime. Indian market has not stabilized in OTT business to actually get a lifetime value very quickly. And those abound. The calculations are better in Western markets, but that's the data. Roughly ARPU is 130 and our churn is 33%. Yeah. Do you need any information on that or?
Mr. Rakesh, are you connected?
Hello?
Sorry.
Yes, sir. What is the average streaming cost per customer per month for you as of now?
As of now, I can't reveal the data, but I can tell you as of March, it will be mostly somewhere between 10 to 15% of the ARPU. So if the customer is a 3-month customer, वो 100 रुपए देता है तो उसका उतना रहेगा और 300 रुपए देता है तो उतना परसेंटेज से कैलकुलेट होना चाहिए.
Right, sir. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Next question is from the line of Kiran Naik from Modi FinCap. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Hello.
Yeah, please go
ahead. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. I have 2-3 questions. Sir, you told that Alt is in loss at present. So when will it be in profit?
So we are expecting, we have always said that between 36 to 48 months after launch, we will have 1 quarter of break-even. I think, because of COVID, we can say between 39 months, means abhi se July till in the next 1 year, one of the quarters we will definitely show profit.
Okay, so can I take 18 months from here?
No, you can take 12 months from here.
Okay, 12. Any dividend declared?
No, we don't have any. We have a dividend policy which is listed on the website, so request you to kindly go through that.
Okay, and this 130 rupees is monthly or yearly? Monthly, no?
Yearly.
Yearly, okay. And
our price is 300 rupees a year. I can never get an ARPU of 130 a month.
Okay, sorry. And the question is for the CFO. I hope that cash conversion days is for manufacturing companies. Do we also have any cash conversion days? The difference between the receivables and payables for us is how many days?
So you want to know my ratio, number of days of collectibles?
Yeah.
Collectibles minus payables.
Yeah.
So
that how much
process manufacturing concept, I think. Yeah, but
okay.
So our receivable outstanding is closer to 90 days for the group.
Okay. So net 90 days.
Yeah, net 90 days.
Then payables also would be same.
Payable also would be same.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Next participant is Dharmik Prajapati from Prospero Tree Financial. Please go ahead.
Hello. Sir, congratulations first for the good result and for the taking the world losses. Most of the questions have been answered, but I have one question regarding to what is the ARPU composition for yearly and quarterly users?
The total ARPU across all users is 130.
The 30 million subscribers, what is the composition? How many % are the yearly subscribers and how many are the quarterly users?
3 million, 70% are quarterly.
70 are quarterly, 70-30 ratio.
Yes. Roughly, it fluctuates, but if you take an average.
Okay. And how we see this current run rate for daily increase in subscriber base after the lockdown?
Well, we started off well with a 70% increase in subscriber rate, but I think it will go down to around 15,000 per day now. Earlier it was 17,000 per day from 10,000.
Okay, that's good. That's very good. So, again, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and one. Next participant is Kunal Jain from District Capital Partners. Please go ahead.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. So my question is, the films has been doing good performance, your films, and also the recent announcement of Dolly and Kitty coming on the Netflix is a positive. So will we see Balaji making such more digital first movies going here forward?
Actually, the movies we have to make digital creative content for all audiences. If you realize that we have a digital only business which is alt, but when we make TV shows, they also go on free digital. So if you make a television show also for Z, it goes on Z5. If you make it for Star, it goes on Hotstar. And movies also today, a large component of the revenue, even pre-COVID, was coming digital. So there is more and more the world is embracing the fact that whatever content you make has to be digital friendly. So our viewpoint on this is that all the content that we put on Alt Balaji, which is a pay platform, we make it for individual audiences. Whereas for movies and for television, we make it for family audiences, yet digital friendly. Now, having said that, we will, given that the theatres are not going to open too soon, we will have our business model skewed more towards digital releases, especially for films that cost less than around 25 to 30 crores.
Okay, understood, sir.
Yeah.
So one more question I have is that your H2 performance has been really strong compared to H1. So is it because of the impact of your Z partnership? And will we see these numbers this way going forward?
Well, there are two things on the H2 performance. One is, of course, on Alt, it has been stronger, and we have, got our losses down by 50% in H2 because of the digital partnership with Z and because its consequent increase in direct subscription. That is one. Also, we had a good movie hit in H2, which is Dream Girl, which helped the numbers up in quarter 3. What is really heartening for us that is in quarter 4, we didn't have a big movie number, but even then we are breaking even in quarter 4 of FY. We are able to fund our alt digital business loss directly through our television business, and therefore are fully self-sustaining now without debt and with around 240 to 50 crores of cash.
And we are not taking away our investment portfolio. We are not using any of those to kind of fund our digital business.
Correct. So we have in fact reached the tipping point where we are looking to leverage our strength of library and grow exponentially in this year.
Sir, and what kind of impact do you see in Q1 due to the closing of the shooting? Because of
the television business will see a impact naturally because there is no production. And I don't want to kind of, preempt our next board meeting and our release because we will be talking again probably in a month and a half time. But for sure, the television business will be impacted like the rest of the world because we can't produce that and sell.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from Nikita Mehta from BN Investment Advisors. Please go ahead.
Sir, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Nikita, sorry to interrupt you. May I request you to speak a little louder?
Yeah, sure. Sir, thank you so much for the opportunity and congratulations on a good set of numbers. My question was related to the digital content that we put on television, like some of the shows like Barish and Kare Tu Bhi Mohabbat and all. So I was asking that do you think like more such digital shows can be a part of TV going forward or something in that line?
Well, to be very honest, because we didn't have television production, these were put out. But like I mentioned before, the shows that we make for television are in fact put out on digital, and they do well. Like a Nagin does well on on the digital platform that it is on, and so does Kasauti or Kumkum Bhagya, Kundli Bhagya. So we are not going to go into that exclusive market of producing shows for only television. Our shows do go on both digital as well as television platforms.
But then what about the library that we already have? Would there be something more that we could see going ahead on television is what I'm trying to ask.
No. You won't see any more.
All right.
It was just a COVID stopgap because there was no production going on.
All right. And also I wanted to ask in line of now that we are very strong cash and cash balance, and also our EBITDA positive. So we can say that we are pretty self-sufficient now. What are the plans for the future, like for the free cash that we are generating? If you could throw some light on that.
Most of it is around only one maxim, that is growth, growth and growth. And I think that we will try and, be online with our production commitments in non-TV. That is both on digital as well as movies. And we see a very, very healthy outlook for alt. Television will continue. We have already started, production. Shows have already gone on air. So starting July 15, we will kind of maintain the same level of output as last year, proportionally of course. But really the buzzword for us is pumping into the growth for alt, creating more content that is relevant to mass India on alt, marketing ourselves exclusively to acquire subscribers on alt, and reach at least 1 quarter of break even in the next 4 quarters starting today.
Okay. So that's all from my part. All the best and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question is from Rohit Dokania from IDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Actually, just 2 quick ones. One is, can you talk about consumer behavior during these COVID times on the platform on Alt Balaji?
Yeah, well, there are 2 kinds of distinct behavior that we have seen. One is watch times have gone up at least 50 to 60%, and secondly, we have been exposed to newer markets. If you see a typical English content-led OTT will have 60 to 65% of its viewership coming from the top 8 metros or top 8 cities of India. Our proportion is 44 there, and it is anywhere between 40 and 44. So we are more deeply penetrated in tier 2, tier 3 towns. During COVID, we were naturally exposed without having to spend much on marketing to these towns, and therefore we are gaining momentum in these towns. The second behavior that we have seen is because we are spreading more into tier 2, tier 3 India, our quarterly packs are being subscribed to more than the 300 rupee pack. So our price point is also extremely well suited for mass India. It's less than ₹1 a day, and you can buy a subscription for 100 rupees for 3 months. So I think 2 phenomena have happened. One is that our mix has been tier 2, tier 3 towns focused, specifically tier 2, and our quarterly packs are rightly suited for this, this demographic that's come on.
Sure, that's very helpful. And the other one, just wanted to, get your sense. So obviously we have maintained very strong growth on Alt Balaji platform. Do you think that we can sort of maintain this kind of growth in FY21 as well, what we have shown in FY20?
Yes, I think there are 2 or 3 factors, of course, to it. One is that we have started full-fledged production, and we need to, get out new shows. Otherwise, people will go through our shows fast. But we are confident that we will maintain that momentum that we have in revenue year on year. 15, 40, 77, and we need to kind of get that kind of growth this year. I think we will manage it, and only when we do that will we actually break even in one of the quarters. So we are pretty positive on the digital front. Also, what has happened is we have got 3 years data now, and we have now refined our programming strategy to be extremely focused. Nobody else in the country has got data for 60 plus shows made for mass today. So that kind of data means that we have taken 2 or 3 steps. One, we are focusing on Hindi language. Secondly, we have dropped kids from our portfolio, and we are not deviating from creating series Hindi television for the 18 to 35 demographic, and that is our sweet spot, and which is helping us, kind of gain numbers. So I think, these 2 will mean that we will be among the top players in this year. If you look at data on the Android Play Store in Q4 of last year, we were number 3. Though our ARPU probably would be the lowest in terms of gross billing, we were number 3. And that, I think, is a good sign to show that we will be either number 2 or number 1 on the Play Stores.
Sure. Very clear. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Next question is from Sadanand Shetty from True Equity Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah, my question is to Nachiket. Can you help us with the granular detail? What will help you to break even in one of that next 4 quarters? I mean to say rising revenue, freezing cost. What will that particular element? And will that remain a linear trend thereafter, or it's only one of the quarter of 4 you are saying?
So, like I had mentioned before, if you look at last 3 years' data, we have been narrowing losses consistently. And that means there are 2 things that we are doing. One is that we are putting out more and more content out. As our content library grows, the incremental cost of acquisition of every subscriber is going down. So right now our per subscriber acquisition cost is anywhere between 80 to 90 rupees. This was about 120 to 150 rupees when we started off. So as we are adding more shows in our key TG markets and in our key TG demographics, we see acquisition cost is going down. That's one. Point 2 is that the fact that the whole new market has opened up during COVID means that the sampling has increased tremendously. We have seen a 50 to 60% increase in sampling of Alt Balaji in mass India. Both these factors mean that we will continue the trajectory of growth in terms of our bottom line as we go ahead. Our revenues have been growing year on year anyway. That's because people love our programs. Our library is not just library. Our hit percentage is significantly higher than anybody else. And each year as we add 20-25 shows, we are finding that the marginal returns are increasing exponentially.
Thank you. You used to have a original content per annum. Do you continue to maintain that matrix? And what is the original?
It is increased.
You can put some number to that, number of hours that you will do it for digital?
It's gone from 18 shows to 24 shows.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question is from Sagar Kirisha from Chartered Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Sir, I have 2 questions. My first question is that in the legal entity-wise performance breakup that we have, in Q3, the Alt Balaji revenue was 23.14 crores, and it has fallen to 22.2 crores in the March quarter. So, if the number of subscribers has hypothetically increased, then what is the reason for the fall in revenue in Alt Balaji? That's my first question. And my second question is on the total current assets, the other current assets in the consolidated balance sheet. It's approximately 279 crores. So, it's gone up from 131 crores. So, what is in that other current assets? That's all. Thank you.
So, one is, you are asking why there is a small dip in the revenue of directors, yes, even though...
I was expecting an absolute increase in the revenue in quarterly terms, like going ahead every quarter.
Even if the subscribers increase, we only accrue the revenue for the period. Okay, so people pay upfront, but it gets apportioned for each of the period for which they have paid.
So if somebody gets a 12-month pack in March, only 1 month's revenue is taken.
I may get cash immediately, but the revenue gets deferred to a certain extent, yeah.
Okay, alright. Okay, that makes sense. And on the other question, the other current assets.
273 ka kuch current asset.
Other current asset is largely because there is an increase in your receivables from the other entities, which is motion pictures and digital business.
Okay.
And there is a surge in receipt from the GST side. In Alt, we have a huge GST assets which is getting created because we are not able to absorb the full GST assets.
Okay, sir. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Next question is Soma Chetty, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, I have two questions. First one is about G5 deal. G5 deal happened in September. We were expecting reduction in quarterly cost of Balaji segment up to 60%. But in the quarterly cost before September and after September, it's more or less same, around 20 crore per quarter. So please help us understand how and where that cost advantage is coming. Is it coming in the cost or it's coming as a revenue? How are we getting money from G?
So which quarters are you comparing, Q3 to Q4, right?
Yeah. Even Q2.
You have to compare 2 to 3 because Z deal has started in Q3.
So you mean that cost advantage will come in the cost itself, right? Cost will reduce by 50%.
Just make you understand this cost benefit which comes out of Z5 deal. Okay. One is clearly we co-share the cost in 50-50. IP is co-owned by 50-50 and cost is also shared in 50-50. The 10 rupees extra which they pay comes as a revenue into the top line. Okay. The agreement got effected on 1st September. So what happens is because of the earlier cost which we had incurred on the content continues to hit your P&L, the amortization, because that is fully owned still by us. So proportionately, whatever shows goes online with Z, that benefit comes. So you still have a huge library for which the content cost remains there and the incremental cost benefit will come only in the future years. So there is if you see the cost line, Q2 we had 28 crores, whereas Q4 we are at 27 crores. So as we go further, in fact our overall content spend in this fiscal was higher than the last year also. And the programming mix also has changed. We have a few high cost shows in this fiscal, which was totally borne by Balaji.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Thank you, sir. One more question I have is about the Jio movies. Still there are some shows available on Jio movies which are from Balaji. So is Reliance Jio still paying to us anything for that? If yes, is it a quarterly payment or half yearly or yearly? In which quarter typically it comes?
Yes, they are paying.
So is it a quarterly payment or half yearly or yearly?
Means? I didn't understand what your question is. There is a per month charge for it.
Do we get the revenue from them yearly or half yearly or every quarter we get? So how is it distributed?
Monthly.
Hello?
Hello. From Reliance Jio, the revenue that we get for the existing.
We get for each month. Okay, I will put it this way. I hope this clarifies.
Okay, thanks. And how long are we going to get? How long is the contract valid?
It's valid as long as, right now it doesn't have a termination date.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question is from Dhruv Bhatt, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I just wanted to understand that, in Q3 we were discussing about not joining aggregators, for a variety of reasons. But since Q4 and Q1 with COVID coming into picture, don't we, are we assessing maybe something like aggregators, getting into aggregators to, catch on to more subscribers and to, tap onto our niche content that we kind of produce?
First of all, we don't produce niche content. Ours is mass-based content.
Mass-based content, I meant that.
Yeah, so we don't want to go for those small niches. We are there for around 600 million people in India, which is the large Hindi-speaking mass that is exposed. That's one. Secondly, we have taken a conscious step towards getting out of telco aggregators and other aggregators simply because we want our distribution focus to be on pay customers. When we went to telco aggregators, our content was being offered free to the consumers. We didn't want that. So now being just on Z5 and on, being just on these platforms, especially with our new shows, we are bolstering our direct consumer base, and therefore this is part of a 3-step strategy to become a direct B2C behemoth in India. We are, as a result, seeing a doubling of our revenues both overall as well as in direct subscription. and we will continue on this strategy at least till March 2022. At that point in time, we will evaluate whether we need any partnerships at all, or can we just, go direct to market. So, to answer your question, no, we are not looking actively at the aggregator model. However, having said that, we will start our first moves into exploring distribution through aggregators in the international field in the next quarter.
Okay.
Domestically, we are not. Domestically, we are getting out of that game into acquiring direct subscribers.
Okay. That kind of suffices my query. Just one more thing that, I think I read in one of the interviews that the overall advertisement expense for the company has gone down because of, empty slots being available. So, are we expecting with the current rise in, OTT apps with the COVID scenario, are we expecting a huge incremental expense on advertisement? At the same time, are we expecting rise in expense on tech to improve our app and maybe because I think we've not incurred a huge expense on tech. So are we expecting any sort of those expenses to come in the nearby quarters to to fully exploit this opportunity?
No, the beauty of where we are in alt is that our marketing expense will stay constant year on year, give or take 2-3%. But because our acquisition cost per subscriber is going down, and it has gone down from 120, 130 to around 80, 90 levels, I expect it will be around 70 levels as we go on putting in more shows. Because of that, we are getting more bang for our bucks on our advertising budgets, especially for acquiring subscribers. So our per subscriber cost is going down. That's one. Secondly, our tech cost is going up, but I think will go up, but that is largely because our direct subscriber base and our viewing is nearly doubling every year on year. So there is some part of the increase of our tech cost will be in tech improvements, but largely the streaming costs for us are going up year on year because our business is growing.
So can I estimate that both these expenses are going to grow in a similar fashion as it has been historically?
No, the direct expense, the direct subscriber base related expense of streaming costs will be more.
Okay.
It will be more than what was typical.
Okay. And I just went through an article today that, we are looking for strategic investors for the company. So I just wanted to gauge some idea on that. I mean, where does the company and what is the requirement that is coming through for which we are looking for investors?
Which article are you, is there a company spokesperson on that article?
No, it was a source-based article. That's why I wanted your view, whether there is any credibility to that or, we should just ignore our shareholders.
See, one thing, I think you should not pay much import at this point in time. We definitely are focused on creating an operation that is world-class. From number 3 rank on the App Store, we want to climb to the number 1 rank on digital. We are probably the only content company today in India that has an answer for movies, television and digital for mass India, and that's what we want to focus doing. Right now, we have sufficient, we have a fair amount of cash to ensure that we can go through our requirements for the next 9 to 12 months, and we have no debt. So I think we are very, very comfortably poised. If at all there is such a thing, you will see a official announcement from the company coming through.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from line of Kirti Shah, individual investor. Please go ahead.
हेलो.
Yes.
गुड इवनिंग. बहुत ही आपने अच्छा वर्किंग दिया हुआ है. जो प्रॉफिट लास्ट ईयर 20 करोड़ था, दिस ईयर 57 करोड़ स्टैंड ऑन में प्रॉफिट दिया है. बहुत ही अच्छी बात है. कीप इट. हेलो.
थैंक यू सर.
थैंक यू कीर्ति भाई.
हाँ. Now what is the valuation today? Our library and brand and all this company. जिससे डेट फ्री कंपनी, 25 साल पुरानी कंपनी, आज उसकी वैल्यूएशन कितनी अच्छी होनी चाहिए. लेकिन दुख की बात यह है कि आपकी बुक वैल्यू 0.85 है ओनली. प्राइस टू बुक वैल्यू 0.85.
नहीं, मुझे लगता है जैसे हम सेल्फ सफिशिएंट होते जाएंगे. देखिए 3 साल में पहली बार हम एबिटा पॉजिटिव हो चुके हैं.
बिल्कुल. बहुत बढ़िया किया आपने. 100 करोड़ माइनस में आपने प्रॉफिट में आ गए.
हाँ, तो अभी क्या है, ये जो बात है, ये अभी शायद स्टॉक मार्केट हमको सहारा देगी और हमारा प्राइस ऊपर लेती जाएगी. अप्रिशिएट हो चुकी है वैसे भी। आप देखोगे तो अगर स्टॉक प्राइस के ट्रेंड्स भी, जिसके बारे में आपको मेरे से ज़्यादा जानकारी होगी, और मुझे लगता है ये दौर ऐसे चलते रहेगा। पर पते की बात यह है कि अभी कोविड की वजह से डिजिटल पे जो जिस तरह से भार दे रहे लोग, और उसको मद्देनजर रखते हुए हमको लगता है कि यही जो ट्रेंड है ये चलते रहेगा आगे।
और प्रमोटर ने अपनी होल्डिंग बढ़ानी चाहिए, प्रमोटर ने अपना होल्डिंग बढ़ाना चाहिए। 34% है अभी।
ये आप एजीएम में जरूर प्रमोटर जब आएंगे तब उनको प्लीज सलाह दीजिएगा।
डेफिनेटली सर। विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट। थैंक यू वेरी मच सर।
थैंक यू, धन्यवाद सर।
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Next question is from line of Chintan Desai from Param Capital Research. Please go ahead.
Sir, just can you speak about what are our cost-cutting initiatives that we have taken, say, in Q1, and would they be sustainable going ahead? Just some flavor on how are we going about it.
Trying to slash our overhead. Our salary bill basically is down to around 50% from where it was in pre-COVID times in April, May, June. Of course, the other costs that are there were non-existent because we were not producing. So, what has happened when we have started production is we are looking at an overall reduction of 10 to 15% minimum in the costs at which we are producing, both in digital as well as in television. But this has to be measured, on a week-to-week basis. In the first 2 weeks of starting production, we are on track, and we will keep you updated on how this cost-cutting measure takes shape as the year goes on.
Sure, sir. Sir, and secondly, on our TV business, we earn a very healthy, gross margin of plus 30% plus. How confident are we, or any renegotiations taking place with broadcaster? Or they would be also facing the heat, and so just wanted to understand how is it's translating to us.
There is always heat. I think negotiations are part of the game. We will all have to take a small cut in our end prices, but I think we are trying to compensate that by also reducing the costs, so that we go closer to the gross margins of this year. It will be a little less than what was there in the financial year that just ended, but we are trying to make good that by putting more volume. Of course, having said that, 3 months and 15 days of this COVID year has already gone without shows being on air.
Sure, sir. So just last question on financial part. I think there were some bad debts, advance written off and provisions, which is almost 4.5% of top line. And even earlier years, there are some non-quantifiable amount. So what it pertains to, is it the nature of the industry, or just a bad experience we had for this particular year?
No, so there are two things. One is the gestation period. By the time, especially if you see movie business, you sign a talent today and the project goes on floor, say in 2 years, 3 years time. That's how movie business function. Okay. And two, and then there is an accounting side, which we have a policy. If we don't do anything within 3 years, then we, out of abundant caution, we provide for it. In this fiscal, we have also carried an impairment of 2.5 crore for one of the joint venture which we had for Chhaya Bani. So that's the additional hit which has come in this fiscal. 2.5 crore for Chhaya Bani.
Okay.
A subsidiary which was 50-50 owned by another investor. So we have gone for a voluntary liquidation of the company.
Sure. Thanks a lot, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Next question is from Sharan Gani from Longview Financial. Please go ahead.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Hi. So my question is actually on the the 130 rupees ARPU that you mentioned. Can you just go a little deeper into what determines the pricing? Is it your costing, or is it more just a customer acquisition strategy of pricing it so low? Is there some elasticity in terms of increasing the pricing? Because it seems like given your content, that the customer might be willing to pay a little bit more for...
What is your level of detail in assuming that? We are in a country where nobody is paying more. We are in mass India and we feel that 1 rupee per day is probably what the customer can afford basis the size of telco prepaid packs. Internet today is consumed mostly through telcos, and looking at that data, people cannot afford more than ₹1 a day. So we are the only players who have started off with a price range and we have maintained it till now. Everybody else, if you see, has brought their prices down. So I think there is not even any competitive data to indicate that anybody has taken a price increase. People have brought down the prices to 1/5 of where they started from today. But we have always maintained, we believe that we are in a very, very price sensitive mass market. Our content is focused on mass India, and in the next couple of years as internet consumption spreads, we'll also take rural India into account, and therefore we not only want to give a price of less than ₹1 a day, but we want to make it affordable. So 100 rupees is our entry ticket, and I think that is the critical point. And if you look at telco prepaid data where people are doing refills of 50, 60 rupees also today, that is what encourages to believe that we will be in that mass market.
Okay, thanks. And just the second question I had was this deal that we've done with Netflix. Is it time barred in the sense, have we sold the rights for a specific amount of time for this movie, or is it, you eventually plan to put it on the Alt Balaji platform, or?
Our movie business and Alt Balaji business today is at an arm's length. Alt Balaji's main proposition is series production, and that too Hindi mass focus series production. So we believe that the movie business runs independently, and we want to exploit the digital market for people who run movies on their platform. We don't run that much movies on our platform. We hardly have 5 or 6.
Right.
And this is time bound, yes.
Yeah, this is time bound, the deal which we have done. So the IP comes back to us and we are able to monetize it again.
Okay, thanks. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Akshay Pawar from Individual Investor. Please go ahead.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations for good number. My question is about web series which converted as a TV serial in March, last week of March. So whether that revenue is there in Q4 number or that will be in Q1? Part of that revenue.
I didn't understand. Those last 10 days of March you are talking of, or what is it that you are saying actually? Sorry.
I am asking, we have converted some web series into TV serials. So,
the web series, right.
Yeah.
That will be in Q1 number.
Okay, that will be in Q1. Okay. And that will be in segment of digital or TV?
Sanjay, where will we account that for the web series that we have sold to Zee?
See, the web series which we have sold to Zee will be accounted in TV and partially into Alt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question is from the line of Sadanand Shetty from True Equity Advisors. Please go ahead.
What is your capital outlay for motion picture business, and you have any roadmap for that division?
We intend to cap it at not over 100 crores for motion pictures.
Yeah, any future roadmap for that business?
The roadmap for the next 2 years, we won't put more than 100 crore in.
Okay, now the pre-sale is the only business model you will adopt, considering you have a strong distribution also.
I didn't understand. Even when we distributed in theaters, we pre-sell satellite and digital rights.
Okay.
So if and when theaters open, obviously that is when the model will change. But right now we don't have a date.
So you keep the option of distributing yourself also?
Yes.
In theatrical.
Sorry, I didn't understand. In capital mean?
You keep the option of distributing yourself also for theatrical release?
On some movies, yes. On some movies, we want to sell directly as a strategy, if you're asking.
But doesn't that bring a risk on your book, as it has been in the past, historically?
No, absolutely not. As we are talking, we go selective. We go movie on movie basis. Where we see potential to make money, we will retain the distribution ad. Where we see if we are getting a good sum to get out of the distribution, we will not do distribution.
It depends on the team.
So it varies movies to movies.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that will be the last question for today. I will now hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
It's been a wonderful year. I think we want to continue growth. We just want to reinstate that we are today poised to be the number one player in terms of content across all three streams: movies, television, and digital. We have a roaring digital future with our alt platform. We keep getting inquiries from investors to invest into our platform, but we are still holding our horses because we feel we haven't reached the peak of our potential. And I think it's going to be an opportunity in this crisis that we are fully poised to exploit in the remaining months of the financial year. Thanks.